Welcome, Nancy. How are you today?
I'm good, Steph. How are you?
I'm really well. I'm so happy to be talking to you today. We haven't had a chat in a long time.
Has been a little while, and thank you for having me here. It's an honor. I'm very excited to be here, actually. So thank
Oh,
you.
we're very excited to have you. And for those of you out there that don't know who Nancy Abdou is and who TADLI is, uh, living under a rock, obviously, because you're an award winner in your field. But please, Nancy, tell us a little bit about yourself and also about the incredible TADLI that you've built.
Oh gosh, okay. So TADLI, the Australian Dermal Laser Institute, and we've been we're one entity. We've been training for quite some time now. I've been in the industry for about 23 years. Had several clinics with my sisters, so it was a family-run business, and we sold those about I'd say 13 years ago. And so ever since then, the last 13 years, I've been training for various manufacturers, and also just for clinics. So, one-on-one clinics who are wanting some training in any type of device, to be fair. Been doing that, delivering training for 13 years, like I said. And I would say the last 4 or 5 years, we've been mainly just delivering training for our devices now, which is really exciting. So we distribute various many devices. We've got our own skincare range, which is formulated here in Melbourne, Skindividual. And we also bring in another range called Laramedical or Laramide. So a lot of people, I think, have heard of that because of the results. But essentially, training is the heart of everything. I've got a degree in education, where I taught both kids and adults, and I decided adults was my jam. Nothing wrong with kids, of course, but adults was my thing. I remember when I went out to BOC to do my first round there, and was like, this is good. Teaching adults is good. Bit different. And crazily enough, not because I'm not busy enough, right? I have also gone back to Vic Uni to do my health sciences. So
Wow.
yeah, so I'm currently in my second year, and it's a little bit crazy, but it's
Yeah,
amazing. I'm learning so much. It's so
I
good.
can imagine. Wow, like your plate must be overflowing.
A little bit. We're very busy. And like
Yes.
you said, we've been really fortunate to have won. This is our third ABIA actually for, Educator of the Year. So a
Wow.
lot's been happening, all in good, obviously all in good places and good things, and for the improvement of us as a company, and also hopefully as the industry as well, too,
Yeah.
right?
Well, that's so admirable. I can't imagine how many plates you're juggling in the air and you do it with such finesse. So well done to you and your team
Thank
is so
you.
incredible. I've met quite a few of them and yeah, just and I've also worked with a few of them as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I know firsthand how great they are. And yeah, it's just such a inspiring story actually of, we can do what we set our minds to do. We don't
Absolutely.
have to be limited by what we think is our own personal glass ceiling. So I think that's a great example to us all. And now because that's not enough, you've actually added a whole nother sort of division to TADLI, and that's such a dynamic one. Everybody's talking about electrology.
Yes,
And you've added on another branch, which is now you've got the Dectro device. Is it the Apple-is, is it called?
yes, correct.
It's
Yeah.
one of the world's most renowned and famous devices, right? You've brought it into Australia.
Yes. So we're the exclusive distributor. That's happened only in the last few months. So we're very excited about that and the change we can bring about in the electrology arena. And we're really looking forward to the symposium. So my team and we're so happy to obviously be a premier sponsor of the symposium. So on all different levels, we're really raising that standard, and can't wait to be delivering more, a quality training and
Yeah,
education and
that's
devices
incredible.
to the industry.
While you're doing that, you're also an avid supporter of the industry. So we're also here today to welcome you as a foundation member and also as you said, a premier sponsor of the Electrology Symposium. You joined ABIC as a foundation member, and that is the biggest, most altruistic partnership that we have. Our foundation members, for those of you that don't know, they subsidize a lot of the HR support that our members get. They help fund us so that we stay in business for you. We stay alive as an organization for the industry. So it is such a generous and wonderful partnership that we have. It's a very, very special partnership that we have with our foundation members. They help us to, they help us in the direction that we're going as well. So, Nancy's involved with education and our education committee, and, just in the general standard setting for the industry and the elevation of the industry. So we thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
It really is a special, kind of donation that you've made to the industry. What actually inspired you to take that leap and become a foundation member and contribute so significantly?
Finally. So it was a bit of a big jump, because I know it's a big task as well. So thank you for raising the standard and doing what you do. I know it's a very big feat, like to represent the industry, Steph. So well done to you and to ABIC for doing what you've been doing the last few years. I don't know actually when it all started.
Probably a few years, but
yeah, a few years. So well done. Yeah. But for us, to be honest, like, we joined ABIC because we want to see real change within the industry, and we want to actually make that happen. I feel that ABIC's got the potential to really bring what I think is a somewhat fragmented industry. I really want to see it come together. And I just think with, more experienced educators and suppliers like us, for example, we can actually help ABIC to be, even a bigger, better platform. So we've always seen ourselves part of the solution. We want to be lifting those standards and improving confidence through education. So really it is a collaboration that, that I thought, let's do this. That's bigger and better. And as Simon Sinek says, together is better 100%. And
I love Simon. Are you a Simon fan as well?
Yes, I love Simon Sinek. He's amazing. So
he's so cool. Yeah. I mean, I feel like everybody who likes Simon Sinek has this giving nature that like leaders eat last, that mentality of being humble and being of service, and it really does suit exactly TADLI and your philosophy, Nancy. It's incredible. And it's such a special partnership too, because you have been so involved in education, and because you have been an award winner, 3 times over in education. So you're not, I feel like what TADLI does is, you supply the industry, you'll sell devices and, to help clinics and salons and spas, but you also have this huge backbone of, like, I don't want to just give you a device. I want to teach you everything from the foundations all the way to the advanced. So it's such a broad depth of, how did you come up with that philosophy?
So I think, like I said, education is the core of what I do. I started in education, with my degree many, many years ago. And I just felt that, as a clinic owner, so some 20-something years ago, there was a bit of a lack. And, even though we got educated through the manufacturers, there was still something missing. And I think that education is what really turns that device into a tool, and it's actually a business asset. And I think if we can really sort of deliver amazing training, the right training, with great devices, then it can change not just people's lives, but people's businesses and their ROI and so forth. So it's a real integral part. We're not just delivering a box and that's it. It's an all-rounded thing. It's an all-rounded, like you said, package. So one without the other just doesn't work, does it?
No. And do you find that when you go into clinics to teach and train, that they're missing that foundational knowledge sometimes that will be able to help them to actually use those devices, or you can just analyze the skin and know how to use those devices? Because you can technically know how to use a device, but the application of, right, where do you start with that?
Yeah.
Do you find
And
that
that's,
that's lacking?
pardon?
Do you find that that's lacking when you go in and train?
Absolutely. And that's where I think we get asked for, whether it's, advanced education or combining modalities, or, even refresher. And we sort of go back and sometimes I'm thinking, oh, it's not really a refresher, is it? But they want the in-depth, education. And therapists are actually hungry for it. We want to make sure that the treatments are safe, they're consistent, they're obviously profitable, and definitely I feel that then protects the results and it protects our industry. Like, we want the reputation that, we can deliver results and we can deliver it safely. So it's actually credibility for the entire industry, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. And more than anything, also safety for the patient.
100%, yes.
Because we have seen that, even a device that's very safe, used incorrectly, or when you don't understand, the physiology of the skin or your clinical endpoint, you can actually you can actually have some adverse events.
Yeah. And it's actually interesting. And I don't know if it's just now my feed on Instagram, but I'm seeing all these traumatized skins, like even influencers who have got really, either they've been burnt or they've been overtreated. And I'm seeing there's more and more awareness of things going wrong. But on the other hand, I'm also seeing more clients, if you will, doing home treatments. And it's like,
Yes.
what are you doing? And so there's definitely a lack of education out there, because we're getting, all these people who are getting traumatized. And yet, on the other hand, we've got home devices. It's like something is missing.
And I just feel like there's an abundance of information out there, but it's almost confusing. There's too much information out there and too many unqualified people doing it. That's where you get your traumatized skins. That's where you get your absolutely. I've seen the influencers you're talking about that have, been left with scarring on their faces, and it's quite sad. It's quite horrific. I mean, just spoke to a member the other day who called us and said, I'm dealing with this skin that has been skin needled, and it's completely they overdid it. It's traumatized. Who do I report them to? These people are not qualified. So you get the gamut of the really therapists that are out there that have done their degrees, they've done their study, they're well trained, but you get a whole bunch of people that are just in the industry because it's so unregulated, that just are able to use these devices without any training. And that sort of leads me to the next big thing that we're working on together, Nancy, as TADLI, is, making sure that there's the right regulation in our industry. How do you see, personally, how do you see or want to see the future of aesthetics with regards to regulation? And why do you think compliance is so critical?
Critical. Look, it is really important. The regulation and standardization, of course, is going to be important. It's been challenging, I agree. I think, when I started 23 years ago, we were talking about even, regulation back then. But nonetheless, because there's more devices and there's misinformation, it is really important. So, we need to be able to keep, like you said, the clients safe. It needs to keep us as an industry safe and accountable. But I think regulation also really needs to reflect how complex our industry really is, because it's not going to be straightforward. It's not going to be a one size fits all, is it? And that's, I think, where the government is struggling, because it's just so vast. So there's a wide range of aesthetic treatments, from gentle treatments right through to highly advanced treatments and devices that are out there, especially energy-based technologies, and they actually pose quite a high level of risk. And so that regulation has to take that diversity into account. And I think that, like I said, is the actual challenging. It's not impossible, but I think that's the challenging thing, that it's not a one size fits all. I feel like the regulation should protect, yes, the public, but also make room for passionate professionals, like all of us, to be able to enter through different pathways. So
yes,
I think training, that's where it's going to be just, you're not just, it's the device itself, it's the device and the training and the science behind it, looking at the parameters and the reasoning of, why actually, a therapist doing these treatments as well. So it's all encompassing, regardless of, the qualification, it has to encompass all of that. And I know that someone doing a 4-year degree, it's not the same as having 20 years of hands-on, is it?
Right, absolutely.
So I think the government and ABIC, we have to look at both and see how can we actually formalize the hands-on. And, it's great that they've got the 4 years, but what hands-on can we actually give them as well?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's very well said, because we do have this incredible, rich history when that started a long time ago, when we didn't have the degrees, we didn't have the training, and we created those, like our industry created those through experience. So we've got a lot of incredible beauty therapists and therapists out there that have been doing this a long time and do it well. How do we amalgamate experience and qualifications together? And how do we pay respect to both? That's the challenge, and that's what we're going to be working on together to try to ensure fairness. Obviously, we do the best we can, and then it's in the hands of government. But without representation, without us speaking our piece and making sure that we have a strong representation, we would have no hope of getting what we want if we don't speak up and we don't unite together. And that's everybody in the industry: beauty therapists, dermal therapists, cosmetic nurses, anybody using those devices, coming together and having an agreed framework for it. Because we can't be fragmented. That's when it confuses the government, because one person has an opinion, another association has another opinion, and then the government just says this is all too hard, blanket rule, and then it's kind of over and you've got no say. But I think we're doing a really good job. I mean, ABIC, we are getting I get emails every single day from bodies. I just had the TGA reach out to me and asked me to be on a committee. We're actually at the moment the only ones in our industry to be on that committee, along with APRA, APANZA and so forth, to regulate non-medical devices for the industry. So we have a say. We're sitting at the table. We're getting invited constantly every day to sit at that table, which is really a win for us, and it's thanks to all the members and members such as yourself as well. So incredible strides we're making. The values, you have such I've known you for years as well, so I know that you have these incredible set of principles that you work by, but you're, as an organization, as a company, you have these sets of values. How do you want to, I suppose, influence the industry with these values, and what are they? What are your core values?
So our core values at TADLI, personally and obviously professionally, is trust. That's our biggest one. We want to be seen as a body that can be trusted, and we're trustworthy, and it means a lot to me that people do trust us, because it is our reputation at the end of the day. And then we've got passion. So that's our second core value, that, we're passionate in what we do and what we deliver. And I think that is entwined into that trust as well, because how can you be passionate about something that you don't trust in, if that makes sense? And
people underrate that. If you're passionate in what you do, it means you'll go to the nth degree for your clients. You'll just take it that extra mile, right? It's not just a job for you.
Exactly. And then, hand in hand with that comes quality. So that's our third, core value, that whatever we deliver will be quality, whether it's our, skincare, our training, our devices, whatever it might be, that we're delivering at a particular standard. And our fourth one, which, is always a bit of a mantra for me, is, it's a bit of an unusual one, but kindness. And I just think there's not enough kindness in the world. There's not enough kindness in the industry. And I think that's one of my, they're the core four, but that's probably the top one, actually. And I think some people will see that, because we do deliver, free training to those in need, or when, the industry is suffering. For example, during COVID, there was a whole lot of free education So I just think if we can pay it forward and our clients can, the therapist can then pay it forward to their clients, it makes the world a bit of a better place.
Doesn't it? I love that kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
That's beautiful, Nancy. That's really nice. We do, our industry does need a little bit more of it. I think in some, especially in some areas, we're great with community and we love getting together, but sometimes, yes, I believe that, that love for each other should extend in the way we treat each other. And we're all about that as well, community, yeah, and trying to just elevate the way that we respect ourselves and each other is beautiful.
Exactly.
And that leads me to, how you partner with people, using those values, you partner in such a beautiful way. Tell us what you think about, the idea of partnership versus just a supplier, supplying a clinic.
It's I think we're different. Not I think, I know we're different. We don't do that hard sell. We don't, want to just sell a device just to sell a device, or education just to sell something. It's more like, what does a clinic actually need? And I think, that passion really drives us to understand what the therapist needs, what the clinic needs, and it actually will then obviously help them to succeed in the right direction. So I think sharing our passion and the kindness and the quality, all of that's encompassing in our partnership. And people see that we're quite genuine. And there are a number of suppliers out there that do push, and I think therapists end up giving up and go, oh, don't worry about it, I'll just buy the device, and then they end up with this device and no support. Whereas it is, the support's there. We help with education, not just now, but down the track. The number of phone calls we get, if someone's going, oh, I've got this tricky, case or particular skin or skin type, and we're there on the phone, guiding them through that, even years down after they've purchased their device, along with, giving them help through their marketing and whatever it might be. It's a package that we deliver, and that includes obviously their advanced training down the track, or workshops, or even like the symposium. That's us contributing back to the industry.
Yeah, I love that, and I know that firsthand anyway, because when I had clinics, you were a supplier of mine, so I can attest to what you're saying. It's true. The support and the education, second to none. But the other thing that strikes me is that, when if your clinic owners will know this, exactly what I'm about to say. You buy a device and you train your staff, and it just kind of sits there, and it doesn't really get traction, and you haven't really launched it in the best way, and it just doesn't move the way you expect. It doesn't give you the return on investment.
Yeah.
You have a very different philosophy on introducing your device into a clinic from the start to the end. How do you do this? So you have all this marketing support and launch support.
Yeah, we've obviously we've grown. It's not just me. A lot for many years, people thought, oh, it's just Nancy. It's not. I've always had a team. But so from the beginning, we've got Brittany on the phone supporting and guiding. I hop on the phone as well, and Nina also. You've met Nina, and yes, you know her quite well. So they're sort of there at the forefront, but at the back end, we've got Isha and Yasmin helping with the marketing, and if the clinics are needing assistance, then they're able to help them with promoting their device, making sure that launch is successful. We do outsource to external, marketers as well when in need. I mean, we can't do everything, but where we need, we do outsource that assistance as well. So that's really important. And then we've got, the educators out there in different states who will go to the clinic. So a little bit different. We don't do group training on a device. It's one-on-one, it's face-to-face. So we go out there and we'll actually train that clinic on their device in their environment on their clients. So that's sort of, been old school for me, and I think that needs to continue. Online has its place, but I think face to face, you can't replace that, can you?
No, absolutely not. There's nothing like having that support in person, and you see the nuances when your staff are training and when you're training. You just pick up that trainer can pick up on those little things that make the world of difference.
Right.
And
Yep.
and you can get just a better sense when you're in person.
When you're
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, no, so I was going to say, yeah, in person. But the other thing is no two clinics alike. You know, your clinic might have an IPL and needling and radio frequency, whilst another clinic can have a completely different setup. And oftentimes we'll get asked, well, how do you combine all the modalities? Which manufacturers don't do that, do they? So when you buy a device, it's like you press this button, you do this, do that, and that's it. Whereas I feel like when we come in, it's like, let's look at your clinic as a whole. Let's see what your clients actually need and integrate all the different modalities and skincare you've got. So you can provide a journey, you can provide a skincare plan for your client, not just a treatment. I think that's what's going to set, your clinic apart. So, and that's the approach that we take.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what we need as a clinic owners. We need to understand how we can utilize that device in a multimodality clinic and combine those treatment therapies, because a lot of the times we're combining, we're mixing, we're matching. It's very, very cool that you do that. And then the symposium, I'm so excited for this. Tell us what you're excited for with regards to the electrology symposium.
Oh gosh, obviously sort of getting the industry together with the electrology education, because it has been super fragmented. I know when I did my beauty therapy, 20 years ago, I did electrolysis, but then it sort of like went downhill after that with the introduction of, IPLs and lasers. So it didn't get phased out, but I think the younger generation were taken sort of, not taken aback, but thought, oh, okay, laser, there's a place for it. Whereas I feel like now we've come full circle and they've realized that electrolysis is a necessity. It's the only modality that we can say it is permanent. It's the only modality that's permanent in all phases of the hair growth cycle. Whereas, your light-based modalities have their limitations. So it excites me that we can really introduce this, bring back education to the forefront, because it's been left behind a little bit. Working with Vic Uni, I've mentioned, maybe we want to bring it back, and maybe it's non-elective. So we're planting seeds. We're working with a few RTOs to actually bring back electrology as, the treatment that never should have gone away or should have been phased out.
Absolutely not. And the technology that they've got now, I mean, even your Dectorapolis device, I mean, it's out of this world. That it's no longer the way it used to be. There's so many great options for electrology that make it faster, more precise, safer.
100%.
It's a whole new world. It's exciting. If you're out there listening and you don't know much about electrology, please come to the Electrology Symposium. It is Australia's first of its kind in this segment, in this sector. And we're going to have some incredible speakers. Nancy speaking as well, obviously premier sponsor, and going to be providing some incredible education. We've just got a world-class lineup from start to finish. And, even if you're new to electrology, you're going to get heaps from it. If you're advanced, you're going to get incredible, like advancement from it and enhancement from it, because we've got so many different things happening for new and for advanced practitioners. So please check it out. And then finally, Nancy, looking forward into the future, what's your vision of the future of aesthetics in our industry, and what do you feel like your role is in that?
So I think our vision for the industry, we want to make sure that it remains safe, safe, inclusive, respected. I feel like as aesthetics is getting sort of more and more, I suppose, I can see a divide between beauty, and I love beauty, but beauty aesthetics is becoming its own little, industry and community. So I really want to see that, inclusivity in there, and one that we value education, experience, and accountability equally. And I think the future really does depend on recognizing that there's so many different pathways into aesthetics, which excites me. From people, you know, who are just starting out to those with decades of experience. I want to see more knowledge being shared. I feel like sometimes we're a little bit more protective of, you know, what we've learnt or what we know. So it'd be really good for therapists and educators to be freely sharing a little bit more. I think that's really important, and less competition, more regulation, of course. I've got so many different ideas. I can't wait. So it's going to be really good. We're just going to keep bridging that gap, which is, you know, our motto, and just, yeah, keep sort of like going at it with education, combining science and skill and support, just so we can ensure that clinics are delivering the best that they can and safely.
Well said. I love that. And we are so excited to be working with you. I thank you again for your
Thank
contribution to the
you.
industry. You're such a busy woman, and we are very, very fortunate to have you on our councils, on our board, the committees, the education and regulation committees. You're such an integral part of what we do. And yeah, thank you so much for giving back.
Thank you. This has been great. So, you know, I can't wait, like I said, for the future, Steph. What you're doing is amazing. And I think together we can really sort of make some great headways, and can't wait, you know, for you to be sitting on that table with the TGA and doing what, you know, doing what you do best.
Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for watching. If you want to find out more details about the symposium, check out our website. And thanks everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
See you.